Sorry about that. Your 12th video cut out yet again. I'm on a roll with cutting out on the videos at the moment. Okay, so again, I don't know where we got up to, so I'm just going to move into the next stanza. Okay, straight off, if, hypothetical, sorry, I've lost my spelling. Ignore that too. Sorry, year 12. It's that time of night. But if it's a hypothetical, he's challenging the audience of the poem, and you'll note that we've got this shift now. We're now you. He's in this conversation. He's now talking to the reader. So, and you can tell this is conversational in its form. And so up here we had the we and the all, where he is establishing himself as one of the soldiers. Then we had the shift to the personal possessive pronoun, and now he's talking about you, the reader, and he's challenging you, and he's saying, if by some chance you can have some smothering dreams. And he's smothering, this kind of is a lexical chain that reminds us of the gas that is like a sea going around, and then the dreams again links to dreams just here, and connects the two. But if in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, pace behind the wagon, it's like a funeral march, and you know there's a connotation of speed here, which is not the same as the trudge up here. But we've got this idea of a funeral march, and yet we flung. So again, it's all inclusive. It's that collective pronoun. He's putting himself, Owen's putting himself into this position with all the other soldiers, but flung, it's such a disrespectful word, I suppose. It's like there's no dignity left, there's no nobility, they're just moving with speed. And when we link this to the someone up here, again, it's just this idea that this is just another body, another thing that's happened. So that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face. Look at that. Okay, we've got a lot of alliteration here, the watch in the white. So we've got the alliteration of the W, and it's a difficult line to say, watch the white eyes writhing in his face. And with that TH there as well, it's actually really difficult to say. So the language itself becomes contorted, and so the language is helping create the visual imagery of what is going on with the eyes in the face. Also, the watch, listen to the long vowel sounds, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face. Those long vowel sounds, again, long vowel sounds are used to create emotion. We've got this building up of emotion here, and there's a sadness to it. His hanging face, hanging, it's like the gallows. It's this execution. And notice too, he's still alive. So here we've got this allusion to a funeral march, and yet here we notice that he's still alive. Now, this is really important, this bit here, because when we do Anthem for a Doomed Youth, you're going to see the connections between the two poems. And again, remember, when we're doing a close study of a suite of poems, you need to find those connections between the poems, because you're talking about the poems in their entirety as a collection, not just individually. Anyway, back to this. So his hanging face like a devil sick of sin. Again, we have that, oh gosh, I can't spell tonight, religious illusion coming through. Again, so the idea, heaven and hell, we've got ecstasy is our heaven up here, used ironically, and then here we've got our hell. So it's like a devil's sick of sin. So we've got the simile, like a devil's, so it's meaning like a devil is sick of sin. You got that sibilance from the S's there. He's saying that even for, and you got the religious illusion with sin as well. where he's saying this is worse than hell. The devil resides in hell, and he's saying even the devil would be sick of this. And so it's worse than hell, but also he's suggesting that these deaths are a sin, that there's something unjust in this war that is going on. And so it's a really important line, I think, in the analysis of the poem. If you could hear at every jolt, so again, that hypothetical and that repetition of the if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues. You got the enjambment, this one nice long sentence here. So we've got this idea is flowing through all of this, so it's building upon itself, and we've got this accumulation that's coming because of these commas. That if you could hear at every jolt, so every time the wagon bounces or moves, the soldier that he's talking about, the one that is dying from the gas, is like it's just creating this vivid imagery of what's going on with every single moment. But it's not just visual, it's oral as well, because if you could hear the blood come gargling, you got the sound, the C and the G's, they come gargling. So it's actually creating the sound of the blood at this point from the froth-corrupted lungs. So it's like this explosion forth that is happening. Obscene as cancer. Okay, cancer, it's so we've got this simile, but it's cancer is something that kills. So it's likening what is happening to the lungs as a cancer. Bitter as the cud. This is something, it's an animal reference, and this is really important too, because, again, links to Anthem of a Doomed Youth, where Owen says, what are these that pass as cattle? It's a really good connection that you need to be making between the two texts, please, Year 12. But the cud is after the cow eats grass, it then regurgitates it and eats it again. So it's this idea that what's going on with this soldier's body is just the repetition is regurgitated. It's like it's so visual and horrific in the way it's being painted, this image that's being painted as the cut of vile, incurable sores. Again, so it's something that this can't be saved. So this incurable, it links to the helpless up here. There's like that. It's this idea that there's nothing can be done for this poor soldier, and the vile. It's something to be to almost, fear's not the right word, but to like step back from. It's again one of those horrific words. And a vile sores on innocent tongues. Notice the word innocent. Contrast innocent to sin here. The two words contrast. It's we've got a double layer of meaning here. First, we've got all of these sins. He's saying that the actual gas and the effect of the gas is a sin, but we've also got the innocent tongues, and the innocent tongues is going to come into play down here as well. My friend, direct part of the conversation to the reader. He's talking directly to the reader right now. My friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory. So children mixes with innocent here, and it contrasts with these old people up here. And remember, contextually, some of these were children. So many boys went and signed up for the war before they were 18. And really, you're all turning 18 right now. you're not, like, it just, for me as your teacher, it's just horrific to think that this could be your world. Yeah, they haven't seen the world. It is that oxymoron against, oh, that's not the right word, but a contrast against the ecstasy of fumbling here as well. The idea that this premature aging, they're old men before their time. They've missed out on the sexual encounters. They've missed out on falling in love. Their children have been forced to grow up too fast, too soon, and time here is running out for them. And so he's saying, you would not tell with such high zest, so eagerly, and again, such high zest goes with ecstasy up here to children ardent for some desperate glory. Like, there's a desperation even in that word. So and for some desperate glory, it contrasts with the desperation that's going on up here of trying to save a life. The old lie, Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. So we've got this idea that we're talking about the propaganda. Year 12, I've lost it with my spelling, as always. But you've got the idea of the propaganda. He is trying to tell about the horrors of war. He's trying to, and there is a pity there. There's a fear there. We've got the psychological journey coming through, because Owen did have shell shock. He wrote this poem when he was at Craig Lockhart, and when he had met Sassoon, and he was there because of shell shock. And it's just like, this is Owen's personal story of what he's seen, of what's landed him in hospital. This idea of how he's dealing with truth. Remember, he said it's a true poet tells the truth. And so he's saying, this is a lie. Okay, this is a lie. And the rest of it is the truth. And if you knew the truth, you wouldn't be able to say the lie. So truth is a major theme in this particular poem. Anyway, you could go into a lot more detail with this, but it's really important to understand how he's visually representing. So we've got the premature aging. We've got children who are looking like old men who are dying before their time, and dying in such horrific ways. And there's so many of them dying that their identity is lost. You've got the religious illusion, and this idea that even the devil would turn his back on this. This is worse than the worst. There's nothing good about what we're seeing, but it's dealt with some kind of pity. It's like you wouldn't, if you could see what I have seen, you would be empathetic, and you wouldn't do these things that by sending them on to war. It's a very powerful poem. There's a lot more that you could take out of it. I haven't gone into all of it in full detail. This one is important too. I don't know if I said it before, but it links with Anthem for a Doomed Youth and some of the other poems that we're going to do about the idea that these men are like animals just going to the slaughter. Here, my friend, links with Strange Meeting. Another one of the poems that we're going to do, where he says at the end, I am the enemy you killed, my friend. And so it links the two together as well. So anyway, good luck. And don't forget to get your essays into me, your alarm paragraphs. And good luck with your studies. Goodbye.